Hello and greetings from beautiful Sarasota, Florida. This is a request how to transition on a slope. So thank you guys for the request. It gives us cool ideas of things to try or things we hadn't thought of and stuff like that. So we appreciate it. For transitioning on a slope, I would think the best thing is to try to learn how to transition really comfortably on flat ground. And by transition, that just means turning from front to back and back to front on your roller skates. You know, being really comfortable and smooth with that on flat ground is super important before we start getting into any kind of a slope. And if you haven't learned how to do that, I'll put the links to the videos that Kevin made about how to transition both ways in the description below. But if you already know how to transition on the flat, you're super comfortable, then we'll take it to a little slope and show how to do that today. But before we do that, check out the beautiful foliage we have all around us.
Wow.
Here at the Ritz-Carlton.
Downtown Sarasota, beautiful area.
Downtown Sarasota, the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. It's really beautiful. So we're going to be heading down this slope. So there's people coming up the slope right now, but that's okay because we're going to be heading down in just a moment. We picked this place just because it's not super easy to find slopes around here. Being in Florida, we don't have a ton of hills, but this is built up a little bit. All right, so we're going to be heading down this way. And the most important thing, I think, for myself at least, is when I'm skating down the slope to have the feet staggered. So in other words, I don't have my feet together, which is very little stability, tiny base of support, but instead I have my knees bent and one foot in front of the other. For me, I like to have my left foot forward. You'll see I keep flipping my foot out like that. It's because I'm gonna be rolling. And if I flip my foot out, it stops me, right? If I turn my foot open, I won't roll. But for me, I have my left foot in front, my right foot behind. You might find for yourself you prefer to have your right foot in front, left foot behind. So pick whatever's natural for you. But this is like the basics of ramp skating too, where you learn how to stagger your feet, only except it's a gentler ramp, all right? So now I'm having my knees bent, hinging at my hips, leaning forward. As I'm rolling, this is super important because it keeps me stable. And when I go to make my turn, I turn my body and push on my back toe stop. So the back toe stop is kind of slowing me down. I'm dragging it, I can pick it up, drag it, pick it up. I can even stop all the way, right? But I still have that staggered position. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just turning toward the camera so that y'all can hear me, pushing on the back toe stop as I'm rolling backwards, and then turning, keeping my knees bent, hinging at the hips, torso leaning forward, turning back to front. I would suggest trying this both ways, to the left and to the right, but again, keeping the knees bent, feet staggered, sliding on that back toe stop, continuing to keep that body position bent and low and hinged when you turn back to the front. Practice this as many times as you need to get fluid with it, using that toe stop, dragging and pushing, watching for the cracks in the sidewalk that are inevitably there, keeping the knees bent, feet staggered, leaning forward. So again, the more you practice this, the smoother it will get. And like I said, you want to try to do this both ways. I just want to keep facing the camera. But the main thing is maintaining the body position. A lot of times when we go to transition or turn, we tend to stand up straight and bring our feet together, right? And then we're like a pencil. We have no stability, right? So when you're making that turn, you're gonna keep the body hinged, low. I use my toe stop, push off of it, and turn. But keep the body hinged and low both ways. So you can just kind of practice just turning your body, but maintaining that kind of feet staggered, knees bent sort of position, leaning forward, so that you know that if you were to, oh, I don't know, hit a crack in the process of doing that, if you hit it and went, whoa, but your knees were bent and your body was low, you'd be more likely to absorb it and just sort of like maybe stumble rather than outright fall on your bottom or your hand or knee or whatever, right? So that's the idea, that keeping the the body position more hinged, more low, more stable, and just playing with it gradually on gentle slopes before you build up to bigger slopes or banks or whatever you want to try it on. So hopefully that helps you guys. Please let us know in the comments, and please let us know if you have other suggestions or requests, and please like and subscribe. Thanks.